never know when you're going to be throwing on a little banana hammock. So you should probably make sure there wouldn't be any like peekaboos.
Right. Welcome back to the Allegedly podcast with your host, Katie Girl and Dakota.
What's up?
What's up? Sky's up. Bless up.
So dumb.
Bless up, bless up. All right, so we have an amazing show because I'm in need of a lot of help. I mean, a lot of help. And Katie Girl is an expert in many, many things. So I just have a couple of questions for her. I'm just calling in as someone who needs a little aid, a little assistance, a little SOS.
I mean, like, she's not a therapist, but please step into my office. Definitely, not a professional, but here to help, happy to help.
I guess I just kind of envision this as, whenever like people call in to radio hosts, I think they're all staged, but when you call in a radio host and they like have these like outrageous questions that they ask. So it's kind of like that. It's like a little advice column moment. It's a number of things that I think Katie could it's just curing my curiosity, to be honest.
We love that. Like, the thing that I feel like needs to be said is I have no idea what you're about to ask me. So, like, if the advice is poor, like, maybe I'll have to circle back later.
Yeah, big no. Katie has no idea what's to come. So, are you ready, doctor?
I am so ready. Let's do this.
Okay, so my first question is, I hate pussy.
What?
Why are cats so annoying, and do they just through phases, or what's going on with that?
Let me contain myself for a second. I was gonna be like, well, so do I.
So here's the thing. From childhood, I used to live across the street from some lady who said she spoke to cats, like she could like speak to them for some reason. And she had like 5 of them just roaming the neighborhood. She told my best friend's mom that she was mistreating her cat. She would always leave Lucky Charms out for the geese to come back in. I have a memory of my dad throwing a phone book at one. But we love animal rights. Shout out PETA, shout out PETA. I'm a vegan. But, like, what's the deal with them? When they're young, are they always attacking you? Like, what's going on?
So, speaking from the experience of Elliot, who is just absolutely a terror and also potentially a dog, Elliot is now almost, like, he'll be 4 years old this year, and he still attacks me. Granted, I guess maybe that's still kind of young, but I feel like cats are probably just the weirdest animal maybe ever, because like we just don't really know why they act. And I would advise your former neighbor to seek some help. She cannot speak to cats. We gotta be real and honest about that. I feel like cats are definitely not for everyone. I think they're a great animal if you need to be spending a little bit more time away from home, but you want to take care of them.
The problem with me is like I don't understand how to love something that doesn't seem to love me back. Totally. I just don't know how to show affection. I feel like the people on Tiger King are getting away with less scratches than me.
So here's the thing about that is that like I am constantly loving things that don't love me.
So it's just kind of insane.
So it just works out. Elliot has warmed up to Katie Girl, which is nice, but I would say stay away from cats as much as you can if you don't vibe with them. Unless it's a cool cat.
Does Elliot even respond to his name?
Yeah, he does. But I also call him like 75 different things.
Oh, good. So he just looked at you.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's more just like when I speak, like I don't know that he necessarily knows his name,
Right. Well, thanks for the help on that. I was just so curious.
Yeah.
I was a curious look.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my next question is, does size matter? I'm a studio apartment girl. I'm about to live in a van. Like, is that gonna, like, what do you think about all that,
These titles. These titles are just really good.
I like how you had to pause because you knew something else is coming.
So here's the deal. I personally, for my own liking, size matters in all areas and aspects of the world.
Noted.
I think that if you're a minimalist, like, you'll be fine, But for
So,
me, I've got a lot of stuff. I like to have my space. I would like to have the option to do a cartwheel in my home if I knew how to do one.
I'll teach you one. I'm your
I
spotter.
have never been able to do a cartwheel in my entire life. No matter how much I try, I fail. So, like, when I took a little gymnastics class, they, when we did a performance, they had me do a candlestick pose.
Honestly, as a former gymnastics coach, I could never teach cartwheels. They're like the hardest thing ever. I don't know why.
Cartwheels are terrible and I hate them, but I would like to have enough space in my apartment or home to do one, given the option that I would like to practice. But I think that today's day and age, there's so many different ways to like store things and get really creative. This Instagram actually that I follow called the Neat Method, and they go through and talk about like a lot of organizational tips that I think could be potentially applied if someone lived in a smaller space.
What was that again?
It's called the Neat Method, I think.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to subscribe.
Yeah, so check it out. Size.
I think the biggest problem for me is just like always being on the verge of smelling like a Beyond Burger. That's kind of, I know I mentioned that last time, but that's always the problem. But we'll just have to spray and pray that I am okay.
Yeah. I mean, best of luck to you in the van. I've mentioned it before. I couldn't do it, but I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Okay, third question. Something I need advice on. What's your view on manscaping?
Is there like
no follow-up?
I was like, I'm not sure where he's taking this one, but
couldn't think of how to spin that one, so I was just gonna hit you with it.
Okay. So I think that
and you can keep it PG-13, 14, whatever the number is.
I've seen it many ways. I actually honestly don't really have a preference unless you've got like an entire like tumbleweed
hedge fund down there, right?
A tumbleweed, a George W. Bush, whatever you would like to call it. I think that.
Have you ever seen any unique shapes? Like any like
what do you think?
Any like zigzags going on? Any
like Obama for president? No, I haven't seen any shapes. I've seen like a lot of razor burn in my day, so like maybe figure that situation out. But I feel like most guys that like not that I'm always like checking out Manscaped, but I feel like most guys just like don't really care about it, which I think is kind of weird, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
like I think it's almost like you might need to keep it clean, but like almost like a natural looking clean. I don't know.
Yeah, and like
I just like to keep it, just in case that there'll bikini on that I like appealing to the eye.
Absolutely, you never know when you're gonna be throwing on a little banana hammock, so you should probably make sure there wouldn't be any like peekaboos.
Right.
Like, but still, I mean, but I feel like you could still keep it manly however you want. And also, like, please use like body wash or shampoo or something down there. Like, I don't know.
I hope everyone is.
I just feel like sometimes they look like they need a little like hydration.
Right. Like a little mask.
Yeah.
Like a little hair mask.
Absolutely. Please.
Maybe some.
Please.
I would recommend maybe some coconut oil.
You've heard it here first, gentlemen. Please throw a little hair mask down under.
Oh,
Now
that's
if you
good.
start breaking out, please don't sue me.
You know what I saw on Instagram yesterday is someone had a pimple and they taped a raw potato to their face and it was gone the next day.
Okay. I'm happy for them, know that I am, but like I'm good.
Yeah, I know. I think it's, a little video game,
That's a little much.
Okay. Thank you for the advice on that. I hope the future is some shapes and some cool designs, maybe some color down there, but we'll
Maybe
see.
an ombre,
I'm
ombre it.
I'm just envisioning what's that movie with Jennifer Lawrence where she volunteers as tribute? What's that called?
Hunger Games. May the odds be
Oh yeah,
ever
I
in
hope
your
that
favor.
we go into like a little Hunger Games moment and we have like blue hair or something down there one day, just as a little surprise.
That would be a large surprise. I think I would have to go down the route of like asking for their medical history.
Okay, great. Thank you for your advice. So the next question, what is a better first date to you? Is it kind of like dressing up nice and only going to Payway, or being super casual and just having snacks and a drink but no hooking up at someone's apartment for the first date? So going out in public, looking nice, maybe only going to like a Payway level place, or going to someone's apartment, super casual. They might be wearing sweats, just have a snack and a drink, but no hookup.
I like how you emphasize you may not hook up with them, Katie girl.
You cannot.
We're setting some boundaries.
But it's not like a one night stand vibe.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like
I
the
get what
same
you're
vibe as the. You feel me? You feel
I
me?
get what you're saying.
That's why the asterisk exists.
Totally. I feel I'm a more casual person. Like, do I like to get dressed up every once in a while? Sure. But I think that I am more willing and comfortable to be myself if I'm in a setting where it's like at my house.
Do you feel like at risk of being stolen when you go to someone's house, or do you invite people over?
It's just like, you know what? Whatever is meant to be will be. So if I was meant to get kidnapped, then so be it, you know?
You will find your match.
I mean, like, I wouldn't be inviting like a random dude from Bumble over to my house.
Right.
But I think that if it's like someone who, or maybe they are from Bumble, but maybe someone I know, like through creeping, I realize that people I know them. I think that would make me feel a little bit more comfortable. But if it is someone so random, we have no mutuals, I'm probably not going to be like, hey, my address is blah, blah, blah. Like, I live alone with my cat. Like, please walk in. My garage code is this. Like,
my social is this.
Exactly. I don't think I would do that. So I feel like it's not really the type of date I prefer, I guess, but it would be more based off of the type of person. So like if I know them or are familiar with them, then I would much rather prefer
just chilling at their house.
Yeah.
With some goldfish and some red wine.
Exactly.
Cheese and wine.
I'm a big just chill girl.
What is like a good restaurant first date dish, or maybe, whatever date dish, where you're not trying to pull out the big guns, but you're also not going to Taco Bell? Like what's a good middle? What's a good like this is aesthetic, but it's not like
Well, so I mean, you won't know this restaurant chain probably, but in Phoenix, and then they've actually expanded, I think, to Southern California and then Texas maybe. There's like Fox Concept restaurants. So I would say their price range averages, like, so say you're going to one of their burger places. The place, a burger is maybe like $15. So it is a little bit more expensive, I guess you would say, but it's not like you're getting like a $30 burger. You know what I'm saying? Like where, I don't know, they just have cool vibe atmosphere, like very young and hip, and but they're not where you would have to wear like a tight dress and
Maybe like, have you ever heard of Cheddars?
No.
Well, it's in Texas. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like what I can more describe it as is
Maybe $15.
yeah,
$15 a
I would say like $15 to $20 is fine. Like 20 would be obviously high, but I think $15 main, like if it's a burger or like tacos, something like that.
What about a 2 for $20?
Like an Applebee's situation.
2 for $20 margarita situation.
So, I know that you have experience with being invited to dollar margaritas. I have never even been invited to that, so maybe I would say yes.
Love that. Love
but,
that.
you know, Applebee's wouldn't be my first choice for a first date. I think just like a cool, hip, like place that's more on the casual side, dress code wise.
Love that. Thanks for painting that picture for us, Doc.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, next question. So if you're at someone's house that you don't know very well, maybe it's a friend thing, maybe it's a lover, maybe it's someone's family that you do know very well, are you or are you not allowed to take a shit there?
Yeah. If you gotta go, you gotta go.
Okay, so here's the problem.
Okay.
When someone, like when a girl who may be like more dressed up or like someone who has their hair did or whatever is going on, it's a lot easier for them to slip away maybe, if, you know, for 5.
Yeah.
But when someone looks a wreck and is kind of doing a hobo chic moment and then they go to the bathroom for 5 minutes, it like, what's a smooth way to exit into a situation like that? Does one exist? Do you just lean all the way in?
Okay, so as you were kind of talking, I was thinking about, like, say I'm going to a guy's place, I'm just getting to know them, and I gotta go number 2, and they have a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, I am holding that sucker in.
Okay, thank you. That's what I needed to know. I mean, I just met, like, I went over to a friend's house and I had to go like right as I was pulling in the driveway, and I held that the whole time.
Okay, so why didn't you just like flip a bee and head to a gas station?
Well, I almost did. Well, that brings up another whole story.
Okay.
That just brings up a whole shit my pants story that I'm not ready for.
No, but I think that, so if it's a bigger house and you're able, and if there's multiple people there, then I think it's easier to escape for a little poop, you know?
Okay,
But,
so the higher the head count, the higher the chances.
Exactly. Like, if you gotta go, you gotta go. Like, I don't think that you should try to like hold it in.
That's the advice.
Exactly.
But you get it. No. You held it if you were on a one-on-one moment.
Yeah, like it's situational, I think. Like, it depends on how big the living space is, you know, size matters.
Right.
And it depends on how well you know them. Like, if I'm at my best friend's place, if I'm at your place, like, if I gotta go, I gotta go. I'm sorry.
Right. Okay. I'm
glad I could break the poop down for you.
Well, I mean, for me and everyone listening, because everyone's curious.
Yeah, totally. I think it's fine. If you gotta poop, you gotta poop.
Okay, and my last question is, how do guys lean into balding? Should they get a toupee? Have you ever seen one of those like wigs things where they just shave off the very top of their heads and then they like glue that thing down? You seen that?
No. If you are like young, you're in your like 20s and you start balding, like, first, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's tragic. But second of all, I feel like at that point you should just like rock the bald head.
Yeah.
And
just go clean, go Mr.
Just
Clean
like
on us.
embrace it, because then you're like, if you just shave your head, you can just be like, you know what, like, to not have to wash my hair anymore, I would rather just wash my cranium. So I feel like you could play it off and you don't have to really address the elephant in the room, which is that you're balding at 23.
Right. I kind of feel like people who are balding but have glasses have an advantage.
Why? Because something covers it up?
It's just kind of a look, you know? If you have like kind of nice specs and you're bald, it's just kind of like a confidence thing, you know?
Oh.
Like really loud glasses.
Okay, so, okay.
A little accessory.
Like huge Elton John glasses. We love that.
Go all Elton John, Gus, as if you're bald.
Yeah.
Wow, solid advice. Well, that's all the questions I have.
Well, this was honestly riveting. I'm glad that I got to therapize you, give you a little, give you a little advice, put myself in my friend Marissa's shoes for a moment, and give some sound therapist advice. I'm always here. Katie Girl's chair is always open.
Thank you. I feel that. I feel that comfort.
Well, with that, thank you all for listening. As always, please follow us on all the socials, share this episode with your friends, and you know what? Come to us for advice if you need it, because I feel like I give some pretty solid advice.
Love that.
All right. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next week.